Hey Rebels, welcome back to Dial a Friend. In part 1 with girl climber Emily Harrington, we talked all about goal setting. For anyone just joining us, Emily is a professional rock climber who became the first woman to ever free climb the Golden Gate route of El Capitan in under 24 hours. El Capitan is this massive rock wall in Yosemite National Park that's taller than 20 school buses stacked on top of one another. Emily's back with us today, and we're diving into the part that I think scares all of us the most, the fear. Emily's going to help us figure out how to make friends with fear instead of letting it stop us. Plus, we're going to talk about her incredible new documentary, Girl Climber, and what it was like to watch herself face some of her biggest fears on screen. What makes Emily so incredible is that she doesn't just show you the highlight reel. She talks about being terrified, about failing, and about all the real stuff that happens when you're brave enough to chase big goals. Hi, Emily. Welcome back.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. It's been a really fun conversation.
The first question comes from Sophia in Nashville, and she's asking something I think we all wonder a little about. How do I know when to listen to fear and when to move past it?
That's a big question. When fear is something to shy away from or kind of like a warning bell in your head to take a step back versus when it is time to push through that fear and confront it and face it and move through it. It's a hard one, and that's a tricky one. I think in a lot of ways it takes, once again, practice with engaging with fear, doing things that make us feel that emotion, because if we don't feel that emotion or if we are constantly running away from that emotion, then we don't really know how to deal with it when it comes up. So I think learning how to do things that scare us is really important. That said, I think the best way to kind of manage that is this fear kind of something that is a red flag that I need to step back from, or is this fear something I need to push through? I think that sort of exercise and that learning comes from engaging with very small fears that we know rationally and logically aren't real dangers. So, for example, public speaking. Things that we know actually aren't a danger to our physical bodies. For someone like me who's an athlete who engages with fear in a more physical way.
That's such a helpful way to think about fear as information rather than a warning sign. And this next question really builds on that. It comes from Jordan in Portland, and she's asking, what are some things I can do to help calm myself down and refocus before doing something that really scares me?
So what I like to do when I am feeling afraid or anxious or any kind of emotion related to fear is I like to I call it like coming back into my body. So I like to sort of ground myself into where I'm sitting or standing, or if I'm on the side of the wall or whatever that may be. And I like to take a really deep breath, like into my belly, and reflect on kind of how my body's feeling when it's in that fear state, when it's feeling very anxious and stressed and kind of charged. And I try to kind of go head to toe and breathe into each space and relax a little bit. But a lot of it is about that body-mind connection.
Yeah, I completely relate to like the taking a breath thing. Whenever because I run track right before I start a race and I'm like on the starting line, I like to like put my hand on my heart and just like breathe in until like my heartbeat calms down a little bit.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Your new documentary, Girl Climber, shows so much of what it's like to face big fears. I'm curious if sharing your story on film changed the way that you now think about fears and taking on big challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole process of the big project and then the 5 years since creating the film and sharing the story and putting it all out there for the world, it's kind of like the film in itself felt like a big project and a big, scary, audacious goal that was even separate from the goal itself. And so, I think for me, it's changed how I approach my goals in that I really do value the journey. I look back on the time spent, those hours and days spent on that wall with all these people who I grew to love and really care about and feel so supported by. And I feel so much gratitude for that process. And I feel so fortunate that I got to do that and that I was so supported. And then I feel so fortunate that I was able to share the story with the world and kind of relive it. It's been really fun to relive the journey in a way. And it's made me, I have a lot of feelings about it. I have a lot of fear, for one, with sharing it with the world. It's a very vulnerable thing to do, to share those desires and share the struggle and share the fear and the failure with I don't know, maybe millions of people eventually. That's terrifying. But it really has made me appreciate the process of having big goals, of going after audacious things, of trying hard, of failing. And it's made me think a lot deeper about the things that I want to do in the future. And it's been inspiring. Like, I'm sort of re-inspired to try to do something hard. And it's been motivating. I don't really know what that is yet, but it's exciting to think about. And the film has reignited that in me. So that's been a fun effect on myself. And I hope that's the effect on many people.
I love that a lot. Life is so short, and it's good to have goals and things you're working towards. And having gratitude for the moment is a great reminder. Emily, thank you so much for being here and for being so open and vulnerable about your journey.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to share the film with the world. I'm really excited to share my story with the Rebel girls, and I hope it inspires them to try hard things, to go out there and get uncomfortable and embrace failure and, chase their dreams.
Rebels, be sure to check out Emily's documentary, Girl Climber. I cannot recommend it enough. It's going to change how you think about what's possible. And remember that courage is not about being scared. It's about being scared and showing up anyway. Thanks for dialing in with us, and we'll see you next time. Stay Rebel.